Hello and welcome back to Cultist Simulator with me, Barden. Right, we're going to get time going and then we'll catch up as things are happening here. So in terms of what is going on, we're currently on an expedition. We're trying to get through some of these lower level ones just to keep the guys. Ted wants to keep everybody busy so that they don't end up potentially plotting against him. It's probably a good move to do that. What have we got here? Their blood pumps bright, then dark. They should not have opposed us. We move on. Okay, so that means that having edge there worked for us. Okay, the reeking murk. For the friendlands is ripe with fertile life. Taciturn locals. Okay. So what do we send next? Let's send some more forge in Tristan. Okay. I think those guys are gonna be fine. We send next time we get a chance to send some funds as well, I think. Right, but it looks like that's gonna be good. We're working on translations here, right? Yeah. Okay. So translation done. And let's translate this one. Start that. Work is done. Get that cycle going again. As yet I have only the needs and desires of any other mortal. But what stirs in me? Okay, you can pop you up there. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. Ted's been very sick lately. I think it's more kind of worry than, like, you know, maybe he's susceptible to, more susceptible because he's worrying so much. Okay, now we're gonna ask Dorothy to go and see if she can sort things out there. Ted maybe, you know, left a little bit late, but he's probably, you know, was sick and couldn't get to Dorothy, couldn't get a message out to her either, and got up out of a sick bed, and the first thing he did was go to her and say, listen, Dorothy, I probably should have asked you this earlier, but can you go out and sort out covering up the guy's tracks? And she was said, yeah, I can do that. And off she went. Okay, apple green paint marks ritual circles on the rock. The remains of sacrifices past squelch beneath our feet as we search the shrine. In a little hollow in the throne rests an oiled bundle of treasures. Okay, like that. Let's see what we got. So we got a winged doll. In an attic above a skeleton house, there was a window. Beside the window there was a box. In the box there was a bandage. In the bandage was a twisted, clotted hair. In the hair was wound a doll because the window had never been opened. Okay, so that is 4 moth. You can go, I guess, on this line because you're 4. Then we have the Leonine Tantra, which is in Sanskrit. So we pop you there. And we have icon of Saint Agnes. Saint Agnes of Bohemia was renowned for her pious dedication to the mortification of the flesh. This icon makes for grisly viewing. Okay, so then your knock, you can go there. So we move you, buddy. There we go. Okay, no, it's right. You can go there beside him. Right. And I'm gonna go here next. Right, so Neville is gonna lead this one. And who are we going to send? Let's send Rhaenyra. Oops. And then get it funded as well. Start that. It is rare for passenger vessels to visit the Grim Island where the He-base station is docking, but we can charter a fishing boat and trust the sea behaves. The real work of passing guards and doors will begin if we get on board. Okay, so we're going to have to probably fight, so the likes of Elridge, Rose and Victor will probably see action on this one. Okay, so that's about to be done. Good. Grab that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start reading these. We'll pause for a second. The Concursum Diaries. There are map legends, there are maps of legends, and there are legends of maps. Aspects of the mantis subsist in all of these, in much the same way that you find water in a swamp, and in a cup, and in the sky. Interesting. Again, I love the way, just the writing is so good, but I love the way they take two things that maybe you wouldn't associate as being connected and then connect them so well. Okay, plans for next challenge. Okay, so forge or knock. Well, we have knock. We could send some more knock, but I think we're okay for that. So then let's start getting, let's get Elridge out there for the next challenge. Still 20 seconds for him to potentially find the notoriety. But we have faith in Dorothy to pull it off. Whether fate is misplaced or not, we won't know yet. But I think overall she's been pretty good. Okay, he's gone searching. We've got to know it's right. I think he can take it from us, though, is the problem. Mirza Khan, the sun is steady, the glow recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. It's going to be interesting if he does take it from us. Let's see. No, he's not. Good. The sea we sail is plagued by storms. The isles we seek are tucked in the corners of unmapped history. We'll need heart or forge or both. Okay, well, let's see. We don't have heart or forge. So I think we're going to send our forge people. Let's send Laidlaw along. We are practical souls, strong and forged. We'll probably be fine. Well, when we get the chance, we'll probably send another one. And then we'll send, yeah, once you have that sorted, we'll probably send funds then. There's still a chance that this is going to fail and he's going to be able to find what we had. Let's go back into the Manchester. We haven't been there yet this episode. No one understands us, or else they understand us too well. Okay, so Dorothy, bit of a slip up there. Ted maybe blames himself for not going to her earlier and sending her off unprepared. Others maybe not so generous towards Dorothy, and a couple of whispers about, you know, that she was a bit lax in how she did things. But the hope is that the detective will not be able to make head nor tail of what they've actually found. But we'll see. Westergren describes a series of expeditions into the Mantis. He focuses on the details of the experience, the colours, the vistas, the textures, rather than the practicalities. He does warn that the Mantis changes each year, although he assures the reader that the doors have been the same. Doors may close, but they never disappear, at least not while there have been mortals in the Mantis. We're like mice. Okay, so we got that. What did we actually get, though? I should have turned it over. I'm not sure what we got, to be honest. It must have been a lore, though, right? Well, it could have been a right. But if it had been right, it probably would have appeared here. It would have to put it back up there. So I'm guessing it was a right. And it would have been one that we've already had for it to actually go somewhere, right? Unless it's somewhere on the board, I don't see it. But I think, yeah, we must have got a double up on something. And you're probably in a much better position to see what that was than me, because you can just go back. You can just go back a minute or two and see what lore we had, and then see what lore we've now got more of. But let's get on to the next one. So I'm going to read you next. This is The Dream of the Conspiracy of the Lower Skies. Daemon insists that the hours for modern mortals are subject to their passions, to hatred, and even to love, the seasons of famine and plenty, the turn of the earth, the transformations of the furnace. All these are only the results of the enactment of the lesser's passion of the hours. Okay? But to see what comes of this, I'm going to ask Dorothy as well. I'm going to say to Dorothy, listen, we know you made a mistake, but we're willing to give you another chance. Maybe the detective is not going to be able to make the most of what he's found. So we want you to go out there, make sure he doesn't spot you, but take care of it if you can. Okay, planning for next phase. So forge or knock for that. We have our knock already. Then we have those guys, right? So let's send Leo. No, not Leo. Victor. I'm safe for now. My attitude is not enough evidence to make a case against me. Found no new clues. And there we go. Dorothy has her chance. Can she take it? If not, we will be calling Leo. So we get our favour from authority. Last night I dreamt of a blue silk pavilion overlooking the cloudy labyrinth of the bounds. I listened to the mistress of the place speak of other visitors. The suppression bird have come here. Did you know that? I think they hope to recruit me as an ally. She snores derisively. After what they tried to do to Christopher. But their folly is your fortune. I will tell you something that may help you, if the Bureau ever troubles you. Okay, collect that. And you can go up there beside him. Right, now back into the Mantis we go. We'll pause that for a second as well, so we can check on what's going on over here. The Watchers would almost certainly regret standing against us. Good. Right, so let's send some funds along as well. Damon suggests the Hours have constrained their rivalry to avoid a war within the House of the Sun. He identifies the fear of the crime of the sky as a reason that Hours do not satisfy other passions. He speculates on the horrifying possibility of Hours turned Alucite. What then would they devour? Okay, Anthic elaboration. Right, so you're a new one, and you are this level. Wow. That is pretty decent. Fascination goes up there. Okay, next book. The Burning Woman. The play describes a pilgrimage of smiths and adepts following the trail of the Burning Woman, who had appeared in all their dreams and given each a wound and a word. Okay, Dorothy again has her chance there. Dark days. I must be careful not to let the doubts creep in. Okay. Start that up as well. Optimism is the spice which saves. Dorothy comes back to the church where Ted sees her, and he sees that she's back to her usual smiley self. Not that she was particularly down when not particularly down when she failed, but it was obvious she was putting a brave face on things. That anybody else, like the fact that she wasn't beaming smiles at people when she saw them, if it was anybody else, would be the equivalent of scowling at them. That's how much it affected her. Last night, in the great pavilion, above the great sprawl of the bounds, a woman who once called herself Teresa Galmier sat on gilt-fringed cushions and offered me a horn cup of dream wine. The wine is imaginary, she explained, but the cup is not. To navigate the mansis, one must understand the distinction. Perhaps one day you'll join me on the pilgrimage, or I'll join you. So here, let us share a secret. Okay, grab those. You can just go sit up there. Right, now. Our actions plans for next challenge. Okay, so the next challenge is you. Forge or knock. So we're going to ask Enid to go along. So we sent ostensibly the two most senior cult members. Not the two most powerful cult members, but certainly the two most senior in the hierarchy. Okay, and we'll get back to the mansis. The Smith and the Depths give up on finding the burning woman and resolve to build their own kingdom, where our strength will be sufficient to shatter the world. Okay. So we've got some more forge lore. Okay. Again, another pretty decently strong lore as well. Okay, now on to Subtis and back. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, how the end will begin. In the foretold war, the children of the leashed flame march on the cities of the continent, but the enactors of solar lore and the triple sisterhood join forces to hold them back at tremendous cost. Okay, and now we're going to have a chat with Dorothy, I think. Yeah, about now. Call her in, say we're glad we're glad to see her smiling again. That it's not the same around here without her smiling face, and that we'd like her to go and perform the same duties again if she can. We got a great power of opening. We'll almost certainly shatter this warded door. Okay, that's good, but she may have gone a little early then, in that case. Because there's going to be another thing around. Yeah, so I think she'll be like... well, she's going to have her own one as well. So it's going to be touch and go. It's going to be close between them, I think. All doors must open, as all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. Yeah, it's going to be very close between these two. Depends whether she has 30 seconds afterwards. Or was it auto? I don't know whether it was the autosave or what it was that did that. There's a glimmering. Okay. The sun and splendour, the hour who once ruled the mantis, was known to walk in the orchard before his terrible division. Sometimes his remnants walk here still, sometimes I see the chilly radiance of the menascate through the trees, or the chillier radiance of the sun and rags. Were they to come upon me, it might be my end, but to see them in the distance is a gift of insight. Okay, so we got a glimmering there. That's unfortunately probably not going to be able to use. Okay, is it going on that? Ooh, got some dread there as well. In that battle between the imperishable legions and the leashed flame, the legions will perish and the flame will be unleashed. Okay, and we got, oh wow, the mysteries of the Force. A top tier edge. That is amazing. It's our first top tier lore of this run at least. Okay, and in year at 2, so that means I've probably got to use that next to get the opium on the go. So study wise then, we'll go for the next book, I think. Yeah. Where has she gone? The vagabond is recorded to have travelled not only the mantis and the wood, not only all 9 continents, but also places forbidden to other hours. Interesting. We've also got a third one there as well. So, yes, so she's on the lookout now. I think... yeah, it's going to have another... oh, she's going to miss it because it's going to have 30 seconds at least before it produces. We're getting... oh, look at this though. This is very lucky. Because this is going to give us a contentment, right? When you're looking for something again. All doors must open and all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. Okay, that's good. So let's send Porter along. Porter doesn't get to go very often. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. And that is excellent because what that's doing is basically, it's not saving us because it's going to drop down to 1, not to 0. And then this will be captured to bring it back up to 2. But what it does is it means that we're not then scrambling to deal with a 3. We've got a little bit of time. So it's basically a nice delay. We're going to have to send her out again. Luckily it's Dorothy. She won't be too displeased. If it had been maybe Leo, maybe a different story, but I think Dorothy would be fine with it. So let's actually get her straight out again. She comes back and says, nothing yet. And you say, well, I know it's a bit of an inconvenience, but I'd like you to go out there again. She says, no, it's fine. I can do that. Okay, so go for you. Nice. Last night I walked the orchard of the lights. I plucked the fruit, which is always ripe, and consumed it in 2 bites. The taste is not to be forgotten. As I licked the glowing juice from my fingers, I saw a message carved in the bark of the tree. When I woke, I recorded that message, all I could remember in my diary. Okay, so we got that. Now, yeah, we're going to go for this. In times of special crisis, I might visit a discreet pharmacist to purchase a tincture of opium and make my dreams sweet, but only in times of special crisis. So we'll do that. Yeah, because it'll be at 2 by the time you're done, and then you'll be able to bring it back down to 1, which will be very good for us. Start that off. There are few passengers on board. No wonder if this cheerless icy isle was the ship's destination, but there's at least one passenger, Someone who had protected their cabin door with more than physical locks. They must have gone ashore. They might return at any moment. "4 hours gossip and invisible lore." Oh, from our gossip and invisible lore. Speth deduces that the vagabond has visited nowhere, but that she will not return. He also asserts that she has yet to visit the glory, but that inevitably this must be her goal. Okay, and we get, oh nice. That is brilliant, because that is what we're looking for pretty much expedition wise. So, we actually have the chance now. If we combine, we get one of those. So we have to do that twice. Then combine, and then we get top tier, which would be amazing for us. Okay, now let's get on to our study. On the matter and the deeds of serpents. The serpent folk called the Great Hooded Princes came to know the order called the House of Leth and warred across the miles with them. They made an alliance with the Mother of Ants, whose children they had been. Okay. Nice. So things are kind of, yeah, things are progressing pretty well now, I have to say. We empty the luggage, upend the books to shake them, turn pictures to check the backs. We find clothes, tickets, maps. Nothing out of the ordinary, although there is a curious translucent material like a sheet of snakeskin draped over a chair back. At last, when we slash the mattress to search its stuffing, we find a little collection of ivory scroll cases. Okay, so we grab that. Now, we have some notoriety, which hopefully she's going to intercept, and we have all of these. So the first one is the Cultist Tantra, the avant-garde choreographer Nicholas Curley supposedly incorporated this tantra into his menacing ballets. Menacing ballets, interesting. That's in Sanskrit. Next one, the Leonine Tantra. In the most notorious translation of Leonine Tantra, Ashley Phillips is listed as the translator, but their existence is explicitly denied in the prologue. This confusion is characteristic of books which mention the Great Hooded Princes. Okay, and that's in Sanskrit as well. Next, the Incandescent Tantra. Michael Blockley, the eccentric iron magnate, was found fond of quoting from this tantra. Blockley died in a factory fire. Also in Sanskrit. The Fire Circle Tantra. The one known extant copy of this in Western Europe was stolen from the British Library in 1892. One Harvey Hattington confesses to the crime and claimed to have eaten it with butter and garlic in a moment of ungovernable whimsy. Okay, so you can go there as well. Good. Right, so we have lots of Sanskrit stuff and a couple of Latin ones as well to be translated. I think we're going to go to Kerisham next. So Neville's going to lead. We're going to send, let's send Violet along as well, and then we'll fund it. Sending. Now and then the expedition might have another purpose, but I don't know what goes in there. I'm going to have to see. Let's see. Guy's Viper, the Viper coils where the sea folds itself against the land. I must find a place of power at the water's edge. Perhaps Sulashana can help. If I bring her secrets about other places, some part of you can roam in serpent shape. Send it to accompany your followers to a place where it can perform the dance you must dance. If you have problems finding the place, talk to Sulashina about secret histories. Okay, I think we'll do that. And then what is the other one? This must be the one for Gallier, maybe. In a silent house beside the sea, in a borrowed skin, we will seek the second change. I must find a place of power at the water's edge, perhaps. Okay, so that's the same. Okay. So let's not start that yet. Let's have a chat with her about secret histories and see what that does. Okay, so dread has just ticked up. Oh, the deep piece, but I should not do this again. Okay, so hopefully you stick around long enough. It's going to be close. You're 59, it is... Okay, so you're just going to stick around long enough. Right, now next, we shall get ourselves back to the Mantis. Okay, so we could go to, I guess, one of these, right? I think you're done, eh? Yeah, you're done, so... How about you? Are you done? Unattended church, you're done. I don't think you are done. Although you're the same place, right? You can we can do more than once. So let's get this one going. Probably the same crew, right? You and you. Then we provide the funding. The law does not touch this decaying fringe of the city. The mud here has claimed many lives, and there will, no doubt, be some wretched criminals or other lurking in the warehouse. Okay. So in that case then, let's send Elridge instead. I could just tell Violet, listen, we thought we were going somewhere else, but we've changed our mind, but, you know, you are top of the list if we go back there. I think that, you know, Violet, let's have a look. Violet is always very careful. Yeah, so she'll be very careful about not revealing her feelings on that, I feel. So I'm not too sure whether she's put out by the fact that, you know, it looked like she was going on an expedition and then the expedition was changed, and then it looked like she was going on a new expedition anyway, and then that didn't happen. But we don't know whether she just took it in stride or what happened. Okay, so we have these guys that have to be fought. Let's send Victor along. Well, they don't have to be fought. We just like fighting, I guess. The text describes how the great hooded princes escaped, or will escape, from the fifth history, where they had died, or were doomed to die. They engaged in the secret conquest of the land of the great river, called India in some histories, and have ensured that all other conquests of that land are false conquests. Okay, so we got some nice knock history as well. For there, right? That's nice, because then combine, and then we get a top level knock, which would be great because that's what our cult is about. We have some dread there, which is not so great. Okay, now we have study. Okay, so I think we go here and we start working on this one to try and get a top tier there. Optimism is a spice which saves. Okay, Dorothy saves us again. Now, we want to talk to you about some secret histories, but I think it's maybe this level. I could be wrong, but I think that's the level where Karsham is. As to that, let's see what she has to say. Okay, so you took that, and you took the dread. Great. So things actually worked out there. We'll grab you. Many of the dead enter the mansions through the white door. They wander its corridors in silence until they are lost. Some embrace each other, some devour each other, some forced their way into the dreams of the living. A few record their memories on the mansa stone, where it is soft. They scratch it with their nails, you see. Last night I read one of those memories. Okay. Right, so let's see. You're going to need another contentment, right? Yeah. So let's get that lovely opium on the go again. Start that. One thing's on. Sucking mud. Tricksy fissures. The earth is hungry. We need a lantern to show us the way, or forge to make one. Okay. Let's send Cat along, and then Pope will follow. The watchman will lend virtue to our lamps. That they will show us the perils to avoid. Probably. That was the glimmering there, right? Just left. Oh, the deep piece, but I should not do this again. Okay, now, let's get back in here. Start that. Slot you. The words contain knowledge. Now I contain it. It is a little like theft, and a little like feasting, a little like the progress of an infectious disease. Okay, so we have you. We're now going to go for a glimmering as well. Contentment can go slot there. Okay, we got you as well, so we're going to have to keep that free for you. Okay, keep work going. Solashana hands you a printed slip of paper. These are the numbers this month. Be sure you get the right platform. What's easier to get there, There was a time you'd have had to pass the wrong door. I have better things to do. She chuckled richly. Oh, so she gave us the thing to Kerishim. Okay, that's not... So we can kind of guarantee getting Kerishim. But Kerishim is what we get anyway, right? If we search for that. So I'm not sure. What if we talk to her? About this one. What does that give us? Because it's hinting at other things that we can do through her. Where's the calm? The sun is steady. The glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. Okay, looks like you're going to get cancelled. Our system plans for next challenge. It'll consume funds. Okay, well, let's send funds because we got through that. Yeah, there's those tantalizing hints that there's something more she can do. The Watchers almost certainly regret standing against us. I'd imagine so with 12 of that. Let's send... I'm going to send Violet along now. Because we did make the promise. And we couldn't read her reactions. So to make sure, just err on the side of caution. We know that she is careful and cautious. And we're going to do the same thing. Let's go for the orchard. The invisible arts, Christopher Loffley is said to have remarked, are as profitable as macram, as ethical as tobacco smuggling, and in general as beneficial as roulette. Still, there is always the Orchard of Lights. Indeed, the orchard, with its glowing fruit and its peaceful mists, is a place to be yearned for. Last night I walked there in the peaceful hours of the deep night. Even after waking, I still carry with me a little of the glory of the old sun. Okay. So you can go sit up there. Then we got you. I pass time. I've been inclined to tears and afterwards inclined to laughter. Meanwhile, the world continues. Okay, and you can go there, and now these two can be start combining. This illness has damaged my health. I need to rest before I'm fully recovered. Okay, well luckily we can do that straight away. It's never good to leave that as we found in the past. We always change at the sea first. Kerishim is a good place these days. Then further and further afield, but not in person. Never in person. In your other self. Feel free to come back to me with more lore if you're not sure where to go. If you're looking for anything but change, I can't help you. Okay, so she will change a lore into one that will lead us to Kerishim, I think is what she's saying. But not a lower level lore. She'd maybe change one of these into it, possibly. I think that's kind of the gist of it. So what do we actually do with that then is the question. There must be something else that we're not... Maybe something else we need to do that will give us what we need for Kerishim. So we'll have to look into that. Their blood pumps bright and dark. They should not have opposed us. We move on. The wolf despair prowls elsewhere. A half-glimpsed wistfulness has touched me. Okay. A little dread on its way to us. Okay, hang on. Okay, who are we going to send now? Let's send Saliba. He hasn't been out for a while. Got a chance to stretch his legs. Okay, you need this, right? Yeah. The sick room goes close and stale. Time to get up. Okay, and then get that started. Okay. Yeah, it's time to chat with you. Yeah, so Ted will call Dorothy in again and say, listen, you know the deal. This time you should be, they should be done by the time you get out there, so no messing about. But keep an eye out for that detective. Make sure he doesn't intercept anything before you. A barred door, a cramped space, a hidden cargo. The watchers here were guarding crates sealed with thief-signed ribbons. This is not a lawful operation. The owners of the cargo may not be pleased with our meddling. Got some notoriety. And what else did we get? Leonine Tantra, the profound purple worn only in histories, where Tyrian dye was not rich enough for emperors. It is difficult to bar entry to one wearing this colour. Okay, so that is knock 4, so you can go there, you can pop back to there. Now we can probably go there again. It's in much the same crew. Just tell them, listen, don't think you found everything there, so keep going. maybe, not a grumble. I think just a mention of the fact that these guys that we're taking stuff from probably won't be happy, but I don't think our cult at this stage would be trembling in fear at some gangsters making threats against us. I think we'd be able to put some fear going back the other way as well. But for now, that is the end of this one. So I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you're keeping safe out there, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button there on the right, or checking out some other videos here on the left, or perhaps you might even share with some friends.